Alright folks, so we've got a Nissan Xterra. She's got the 4.0 and holds 5.4 quarts apparently. So this is going to be, I don't know, 04 to 2012, something along those lines. But either way, in this video, we are going to be changing out these little bad boys back here. They have got plastic heater hose connectors, and they crack, break, leak, and cause all kinds of problems. So we'll get into it, but just be aware, this heater hose right here, I think it's the return maybe, it's easy. The other one, it shouldn't be too bad, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult because she actually runs all the way back over here. So let's look at what we're going to put on there. Alright, so we're going to be replacing the plastic junk with metal junk. We've got some handy dandy Dorman parts here, and hopefully this will last the life of the vehicle. It's all metal except for the rubber hose, obviously. I will post the part numbers in the description with links if y'all need it. To do this job, you're going to want to go ahead and replace both of these lines. It'd be a shame to replace one and then the other one go out next week, so just do them both. You'll need the lines, some coolant, and pliers, maybe a 10mm socket. But anyways, let's look at how we're going to drain this coolant. Alright, so not the best shot, but we're working with what we got. So underneath, we're going to have this little fancy plastic skid shield that goes all the way across. You can either remove it to get it out of your way, or you can look up in this hole right here, and there is going to be a drain valve for your radiator. If you want to remove this splash shield and get it out of your way because you're scared you're going to make a mess, there's going to be 2 bolts, one in this hole right here, on the other side in the same place. And then if we'll look up right here, your bumper is going to be bolted to it on each end. And then I believe we've just got 2 bolts back on the frame, and this piece should slide out and come out of your way. But I'm not scared of making a mess. We're not planning on reusing this coolant, so I think we're just going to sneak up in here. So let's see what that looks like. Alright, so with us sneaking the phone up in here and looking, if I can get my finger in the right place, right there, a little Phillips head bit right there, you're going to twist it left-handed to loosen it, and you will have coolant start coming out. Now it is plastic, so make sure you get the best size screwdriver in there you can, because you don't want to strip it out. So we're going to go ahead and put a catch pan down here. We're going to loosen that, and we're going to drain. I guess we'll start with a gallon, and maybe that'll get enough out that we won't spill coolant everywhere. Alright, so we got our draining. Now one thing I do want to mention, because I almost made a mess, just loosen that screw up a little bit at a time if you're wanting to just drain a little bit, because if you take it too far, that screw is going to fly out and you will have coolant come out like you've never seen before. So keep that in mind, and try not to make a mess. So we're going to start with the more aggravating of the 2 lines first. If you'll look right back here, we've got a 10mm holding this line on. We'll take it loose. And then if you'll follow your line down, right back behind where this intake raises up, we've got another 10mm holding it on. So we're going to see if we can get our little wobble socket on there, and we'll get that removed as well. So we got both of our bolts out. We had the one right here, and there's another one right back there behind the intake. Now, what I used was this little fancy setup here. Just got a wobbler and a 10 that takes them right out. You can probably get to that one in the back with just a deep well 10 on your ratchet. You probably have enough room, but that's what I used. It works. So let's start taking some hoses loose. Alright, so if you look on the driver's side, follow us down. There's a hose right there. We've taken our clamp, we squeezed it with some pliers, moved it up. We slid our little oil dipstick out of the way. Now your hose may be pretty seized up. You might have to put your pliers on there and try to twist it, or you can take a razor blade and split it to get it loose. Now, I put a catch pan underneath. Not sure if it's going to be in the right place or not, because I don't know if we still got a bunch of coolant. Let's see if we can focus. Yeah. See if y'all can watch me make a mess. Yep, a little bit. So we did not drain enough coolant. So what we'll do, we're gonna pull that plug on that radiator, drain a little bit more out, and we'll meet you back up on the firewall. So up here on the firewall, same process. We're gonna take this clamp loose. Slide the clamp up. That whole entire piece is spinning. I don't think it's supposed to be. So, as you can see, our plastic fitting has broke off in the hose. More than likely, that's where it was leaking anyways. What we're going to attempt to do, the easiest way I found to fix stuff like this, we're going to take these pliers and just squeeze it. Just like that. Now you want to keep your hose kind of pointed down so you don't have any debris fall back into it, and then we're going to try to just grip this plastic with our pliers, and that's not working, so let's get some needle nose and a screwdriver. What we're going to do, we're going to work this screwdriver in between the hose and the plastic piece, and we're going to work it around. I know my hand's covering it up for y'all, but I can't really help it at the moment. But you just work it around, that way it's no longer stuck. And then we'll take our nail nose pliers, and then you'll just pull the pieces out, throw them on the floor or a trash can if you're responsible. That one still seems to be a little stuck. Let's see if we can get between this one. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, but what I'm trying to do is go between the hose and the plastic fitting, and then we pull it out just like that. Now, it's not a bad idea to keep your pieces so you can put them together, make sure you got them all out. I'm pretty sure we got these out. And what you can do is turn your hose up, hit it a few times, make sure nothing comes out. Excuse me, y'all. So now we need to remove the clamp back here on the firewall. And now, this is our heater cord right here. So we want to go a little bit easier on this piece. We don't want to be too rough with it because we don't want to replace the heater cord. So probably what I'm going to do right off the bat is just get a razor blade and go ahead and cut this hose. That way we don't have to worry about putting pressure on that heater cord. So with our hose having been cut by the razor blade, I don't know if I can get this in camera frame. What we want to do is try to work our little screwdriver or a pick into the cut of our hose and try to fold the hose back like that right there to make sure it is loose, and then hopefully once you've done that it will come off. And this one isn't, so we're going to take the screwdriver and go the other way with it. So sometimes these hoses will get stuck. Just kind of work it around. Now, let's see. And just like that, she is off. So now let's see if we can get a shot of working this bad boy out. Alright, so let's see if we can work this out without getting in y'all's way too much. We're going to start over here, I believe, on the passenger side. Let's see if we can work it. Watch your line right there. We're going to work this little doohickey past that line, and then we're going to try to move this whole assembly up above the intake. Watch your little wire right there. and then we're gonna pull it out and roll it forward and make a mess. So let's see if we can get the new line in there. I'm gonna try to do this without being in y'all's way too much, but I will probably end up in your way. So I'm gonna set this line. It's gonna go like this once it's in there. We gotta go back behind this brake and vacuum booster. So I'm gonna set the line down like that right now. We'll walk over here to the driver's side. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just bending this line, rolling this line out past my valve cover, and then we'll just kind of set it down in here. So now that she's sitting there, we'll go back to the passenger side and we will work it back behind this intake. Just like when you're removing it, take your time, get over this little wire loom that runs behind the intake, and then boom, it drops right back in. Now, we're gonna leave it laying down out of the way for right now. That way we've got a little bit more room to work with our second heater hose. Second heater hose is gonna be the same process. We've got a clamp right here. We will squeeze it with our pliers. Get it back out of the way, and then we'll see if we can get it to come loose. Oh no, like she just broke too. Yeah, so same deal. So I think we've got it cut. Basically just ran that razor blade any way we could on the rubber hose. Hopefully I'm not in y'all's daggum way during this whole entire process. But we're gonna run our screwdriver back in there to try to break the hose free. Run it up that way, run it down the other way, and then maybe if we're lucky, yeah, she comes off. So just to explain, if anybody is confused as what we've got going on, imagine your heater core's back here. Here's your firewall. If we can find our spot, what we're doing, we're taking a razor blade and cutting this hose, trying to anyways. As you can see, I didn't cut all the way, but once we think we've got it cut, we're working the screwdriver in, and what you just want to do is work it around like that to break the seal between the rubber and the pipe. That way you don't want to be pulling on your heater core or bending your heater core, all that good junk. So move your clamp as far back as you can, cut the hose, get you a pick or something, and break it free. So now let's put the new ones on. So something I wanted to mention real quick before we start putting this junk on. Mine actually came with clamp holders. So these little plastic doohickeys are going to keep your clamps opened. So it's going to be easier for me to show you here. What we'll do is we'll slide this on our heater core, and then we'll just grab this, and that spring clamp should close up tight if everything works how it's supposed to anyways. As you can see right there, she's got her held open. So just a lot easier to explain right here than when you can't really see what I'm doing. So let's put it on. Oh, let's see how these little spring clamps are going to work for us. We're going to push our hose all the way up on there, nice and pretty. And then we're going to attempt to pull the spring clamp off, just like that. And she's on there. Just be careful, because when you're pulling it, that spring jumps, it can get your finger. It don't feel the best. So with this one on there, let's go ahead and we'll set our other one back up over here where it needs to be. Tell you what we're gonna do. Get it kind of started on the heater core, and get it started on this stud a little bit. Get her started on that one. And then start our nut. And that should hold it. So on this one, our little fancy clamp holder is in the way. So let's see if we can roll it. Yeah, so now the thing just does not want to line up too great. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these little clamp doohickeys are in the wrong place. Alright. With that back. So let's see if we can slide it up on there. Now we're going to find our hose that we set down here out of the way earlier. We'll work it back up on there. Get our clamp where we want it. You freaking booger. Yeah, that looks good. Then we'll take this other hose. We're gonna put it back down on there. Slide her down to about right there. So now you've got all your hoses hooked up on this side. Let's go back to the driver's side. All right, so the driver's side one right there. Same on the other side. The little plastic spring clamp holders wasn't holding the clamp open wide enough for it to go on, so I just went ahead and popped it off. We clamped it with a regular plier and slid it on. So with all of our connections made, our nut fell off the firewall. Now we will take our little handy dandy heater hose, and I'll probably have both hands for this. Yeah, to get both sides, but we will take and put those back on the stud. So we are pretty much done with this project. We got to put coolant in it. Now, if you noticed earlier in the video, this vehicle has got green antifreeze in it. Yours may not. It may have the Nissan blue or the Nissan bluish green, whatever they've got. So make sure you pay attention to that when you're draining your fluid, and make sure you get the proper fluid. Your parts store can get that for you. The way I'm going to do this is we're going to fill this radiator up. Then we're going to squeeze some hoses, let it sit for a few seconds, see if the fluid is dropping. If it is, we're going to put some more in there. Once we get the radiator full, we're going to go in there and we're going to crank the car up, let it run for 5 or 6 seconds. Check our fluid level. If it's dropped, we'll top it back off, and we will repeat that process until the fluid quits dropping. Once that happens, we're going to slap this bad boy cap back on. We're going to go over to our overflow tank right over here, make sure it's at the proper level, probably about halfway, and then we'll crank this thing up, back it out, turn the heater on, and let it run for probably 20 minutes or so to get it to operating temp. During that time, we're going to keep a check on the temperature gauge. Make sure everything seems right. Make sure your heater works. If your heater's not working, either you've got air in the system or not enough coolant. So make sure that works. And then once she's at operating temperature and everything's working, we'll shut it off. We'll wait for her to cool down, maybe till the next day, and then we'll recheck our levels, and everything should be good. So that's pretty much it for this one. I appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully it helped you out.